Season 4. Plasma Boy stood in his father's old office, pacing slowly as he admired the new decorations he had put up. The dark, foreboding furniture that once filled the space had been replaced with his own touches. Sleeker, more modern designs that reflected his style. He ran a hand along the edge of his new desk, smirking at the thought of finally being in charge while his father was hiding out. He picked up the phone on the desk, preparing to make his first official move as the new ruler of the Villain League. His plan was simple: inform the Hero League that he was now in charge, letting them know that there was a new threat to deal with. He couldn't wait to see their reactions. Just as his finger hovered over the button to make the call, the office door burst open with a loud bang, slamming against the wall. Plasma Man, his father, stormed into the room, his face twisted with seething rage. His eyes were practically glowing with fury, and his whole body seemed to radiate anger. "Father, I'm in charge now. You're the one in hiding, not me. Plasma Man. Don't think for a second that just because I'm away, you get to make decisions like this. You have no right to marry her." "It's too late, Father. We're already planning the wedding. The opposite lord is my fiancé, and you can't stop it. Plasma Man, you fool! You think this is just about marriage? She's a wild card, a liability. You can't bring her into our family, let alone the leadership of the Villain League." "She's more than just an asset. She's a powerful villain, one of the best in the league. Why can't I marry her if she's such a valuable part of our organization?" Plasma Man. "It's not that simple, boy. You're blinded by your infatuation. She's dangerous. Her powers, her unpredictability. You have no idea what you're getting yourself into." "I know exactly what I'm doing. She's proven herself over and over again. And she's loyal to me, which is more than I can say about half the villains in this league. Plasma Man, you fool. You're thinking with your emotions, not with strategy. She's not just any villain. She's volatile. You're putting everything we've built at risk." "Everything we've built? I'm the one running things now. You're hiding in Afghanistan because the Hero League nearly took you down, and I'm the one who's had to pick up the pieces. You don't get to make decisions for me anymore." "You've been gone long enough. This is my time to lead, and I'll do it with the opposite lord by my side, whether you like it or not." "You have no idea what you're stepping into, boy. This marriage will bring nothing but disaster. Mark my words." Without another word, Plasma Man turned sharply and stormed out of the office, leaving his son standing in the newly decorated room, the air still buzzing with the remnants of their argument. Plasma Boy took a deep breath, his heart racing as he watched his father leave. He knew the road ahead would be difficult, especially with his father against him, but he was determined to prove himself. He had the Villain League in his hands now, and he wasn't going to let anyone, not even his father, tell him what to do. The wedding plans would continue. Plasma Boy stood in the center of his father's old office, still seething from their argument, when the door swung open once more. The snake slithered into the room, a sinister smile on his face, followed by a group of Villain League guards. Before Plasma Boy could react, the guards moved quickly, grabbing him by the arms and snapping heavy restraints around his wrists and ankles. The metal restraints clicked tightly, locking into place. Plasma Boy struggled, his eyes flashing with fury. Pulling against the restraints, Plasma Boy tried to break free, but the guards only tightened their grip. "The snake! We're carrying out Plasma Man's orders!" Plasma Boy's frustration boiled over, and he tried to summon his plasma powers, attempting to form a glowing ball of energy in his hands, but nothing happened. He glanced down at the restraints, then back up at the guards. "Guard, those restraints? Specially designed to block your powers. No plasma blasts for you." "You can't do this. I'm in charge. My father's in hiding." The snake. "Your father may be in hiding, but he's still the one giving orders, and his instructions are very clear." "What instructions? The snake? You are to be locked away in Villain League prison until further notice. Your father isn't too pleased with your wedding plans." He can't stop me from marrying the opposite lord. We're already planning it. He has no right. The snake, oh, he has every right. He's Plasma Man after all. What about the opposite lord? What's he planning to do with her? Guard, we've been ordered to keep that information confidential. You can't do this. I'll make you all regret this. But the guards remained unfazed, dragging him out of the office and down the hallway. Plasma Boy fought against his restraints, but without his powers, he was helpless. As he was hauled away toward his imprisonment, the only thought racing through his mind was how to escape, and how to protect the opposite lord from whatever his father had planned for her. The snake watched as Plasma Boy was taken away, a satisfied gleam in his eyes. The son's defiance was no match for the father's control.
Plasma Boy sat in the dimly lit cell, his wrists and ankles still bound by the energy-suppressing restraints. The cold, metallic walls of the Villain League prison were suffocating, and the silence was broken only by the distant hum of machinery. His thoughts raced with anger and frustration. He'd been betrayed, by his father, by the snake, and now, his plans to marry the opposite lord were in jeopardy. Suddenly, the heavy steel door to his cell creaked open, and in walked Plasma Man. His father's towering figure filled the small room, the air crackling faintly with the energy that always surrounded him. His face was contorted with rage, his eyes burning with disappointment. Plasma Boy glared up at him, refusing to be intimidated, but before he could say anything, Plasma Man spoke first, his voice a thunderous growl.
You have disgraced our name, boy. How could you let this happen?
I didn't let it happen, Father. I was betrayed.
The tension in the room was palpable as father and son faced off, each filled with their own sense of betrayal.
Did you really think I wouldn't find out? Did you really think I'd just let this happen?
How did you even find out? You've been hiding in Afghanistan like a coward.
The snake ratted you out. He called me the moment he found out what you were planning. While I was lying low, I got the call, and I came back for one reason: to stop you from making the biggest mistake of your life.
You returned just to stop the wedding? You abandoned everything, and now you come back just to mess with my life?
This isn't just about your life, boy. This is about the future of the Villain League. You think I'm going to let you marry the opposite lord? You think you know what's best? You have no idea who she really is, what kind of danger she brings to this organization.
She's loyal. She's more loyal than half of the villains in this league. Why can't you just let me make my own choices? She's a powerful asset.
You're blinded by infatuation. You've let your emotions cloud your judgment. She's not just a threat to you, she's a threat to all of us. You think you can control her, but you're wrong.
And what about her now? What are you going to do to her?
You don't need to worry about that. I'll deal with the opposite lord myself.
What does that mean? What are you going to do to her? You can't hurt her.
That's none of your concern. She'll answer to me, and I'll make sure she understands the consequences of trying to marry my son without my approval. I'm going to interrogate her next, and you are going to stay right here until I decide what to do with you.
No, you can't do this. I love her and I won't let you hurt her.
You don't have a choice, boy. This is bigger than you. I'll handle her in my own way, and if you're smart, you'll stay out of it.
With that, Plasma Man turned and left the cell, the door slamming shut behind him with a heavy thud, leaving Plasma Boy seething with helpless rage. His father had come back, and now everything was falling apart. His mind swirled with thoughts of the opposite lord. What his father might do to her, how he could stop this. But for now, all he could do was wait. Wait for the moment when he could escape, and find a way to protect the woman he loved from his own father's wrath. In the dimly lit cell, the opposite lord sat on the cold, metallic floor, her body trembling with a mixture of fear and defiance. She had heard the whispers echoing through the halls of the Villain League prison. Whispers of Plasma Man's return, of his rage at her engagement to Plasma Boy. She knew it was only a matter of time before he came for her. Suddenly the heavy door to her cell creaked open, and there he was, Plasma Man. His tall, imposing figure filled the doorway, and his eyes burned with a cold, calculating anger. As he stepped into the room, the air seemed to crackle with the residual energy that always followed him, and the opposite lord couldn't help but shrink back, her heart pounding in her chest.
You've caused quite a bit of trouble, haven't you?
I didn't mean for things to go this far.
Didn't you? You really thought you could manipulate my son and tie him to you in marriage? Did you think I wouldn't find out? Did you think you could take control of this league through him?
I love him. This wasn't about power.
Love? You think I care about your feelings for him? This is about control. You're a threat to the stability of the Villain League, and I'll be damned if I let you twist my son around your finger to serve your own agenda. And if you think you can keep up this act, you're gravely mistaken. I have no problem handing you over to the Hero League. Do you know what they'll do to you? Their prisons make this place look like a paradise.
You wouldn't.
Oh, I would. If you don't cooperate with me, I'll let them deal with you. They'll make sure you never see the light of day again.
The opposite lord swallowed hard, her mind racing. She had always prided herself on being strong, on being unshakable, but facing Plasma Man's wrath, knowing what he was capable of, was another matter entirely. She had thought that marrying Plasma Boy would give her protection, a position of power within the Villain League. But now, she realized just how dangerous that decision had been.
What do you want from me?
I want answers. I want to know exactly how long you've been planning this, how deep your manipulation of my son goes, and what your endgame is. If I'm convinced you're telling the truth, maybe, just maybe, I'll let you walk out of here.
She hesitated, the weight of her decision pressing down on her.
I'm waiting.
It wasn't about manipulation. I didn't want to control him. We found something real. Something neither of us expected.
You expect me to believe that?
It's the truth. I never wanted to be caught up in your power struggles. All I wanted was to be with him.
You're lying, but I'll deal with you soon enough.
With that, Plasma Man turned sharply and left the cell, the door slamming shut behind him, leaving the opposite lord alone once again. She exhaled shakily, knowing that her fate now rested in the hands of a man who showed no mercy.
Carl sat in his office, listening intently as Quantum Shift recounted the details of his recent mission in Switzerland. The superhero's power to manipulate elements had been crucial in neutralizing a major threat, and Carl was impressed with the young hero's growing confidence.
We managed to shut down their whole operation. They were using illegal tech to manipulate the weather patterns, but once we got the intel, it was just a matter of neutralizing the devices. I think we set the Villain League back quite a bit on this one.
Carl nodded, a faint smile tugging at his lips. Good work. Switzerland is in better shape thanks to you and the team. Before Carl could continue, the phone on his desk rang sharply, interrupting the conversation. He raised a hand, excusing himself.
One moment, Quantum Shift. Let me get this.
Carl picked up the phone, his expression shifting from casual to serious.
This is Carl.
Carl, we need to talk. It's urgent.
What's going on, Jack?
I've been keeping an eye on Villain League headquarters like you asked. Things have taken a strange turn. I just saw Plasma Boy and the opposite lord get locked up. Plasma Man is interrogating his son as we speak.
Interrogating him? What's this all about?
I've got listening devices in the prison wing. From what I've heard, it's all about Plasma Man not wanting his son to marry the opposite lord. Apparently, Plasma Boy went behind his back, proposed, and now Plasma Man's livid. He's throwing them both in prison to stop the wedding.
I see, but why does this matter to us?
This is a huge opportunity for the Hero League. Plasma Man's wrath over this forbidden marriage could be exactly what we need to destabilize him. Think about it. If we send a team to rescue Plasma Boy and the opposite lord, help them escape and get married, it'll throw Plasma Man into complete disarray. He won't be able to focus on his schemes or villainous plans with his family torn apart like this. He'll be too busy dealing with the fallout.
Carl remained quiet for a moment, processing the information. His nephew, Plasma Boy, had always been somewhat of a wild card, but this was something else.
And there's one more thing. Plasma Boy is your nephew. You know how powerful he is. And if we can help him, we might be able to create a divide between him and his father. It's risky, but it could keep Plasma Man off balance for a long time.
Carl sighed, leaning forward in his chair, his mind racing. He had always kept a certain distance from his family ties to Plasma Man, but this felt personal. His nephew was in trouble, locked up for defying his father. And Carl knew that Plasma Man's control over his son was as much about power as it was about pride.
This could work. If we can rescue them, and if Plasma Boy really does love her, Plasma Man will be so preoccupied with trying to undo the marriage, he won't have time to focus on his plans. Exactly. This is our chance to use his own family drama against him. We just need to act fast before Plasma Man tightens his grip. All right, I'll put together a team. We'll see if we can use this to our advantage.
We're about to get involved in a very unusual mission. Change of plans, quantum shift.
Unusual how?
We're going to save my nephew and help him get married.
Let's do it.
Colton, Zach, Chris, Mr. Rentz, Mr. Dugan and Mr. Calaway huddled together in one of the Hero League bathrooms, suppressing their laughter as they applied a generous amount of grease to the toilet seat. The room was filled with quiet chuckles and mischievous grins as they worked together to set up their prank. As they continued their work, the group's communication devices suddenly buzzed to life, interrupting their fun. Each of them glanced down at their wrist communicators as Carl's voice came through.
Team, I need you in my office, now.
Guess we're done here. We'll see who falls for it later. Let's go.
The group quickly made their way to Carl's office, their playful mood replaced with a sense of anticipation. Whatever Carl needed, it had to be important. When they entered the office, Carl was already standing by his desk, his expression stern. Quantum Shift, who had been in the middle of a conversation with Carl before the call came through, stood nearby looking curious.
Take a seat, everyone.
The team sat down, sensing the gravity of the situation.
I've just received intelligence from one of our spies at Villain League headquarters. As you know, Plasma Boy and the opposite lord have been imprisoned by Plasma Man. We have a unique opportunity here, and I'm putting together a team to extract them from Villain League prison. Wait, we're going into Villain League prison? That place is nearly impossible to break into. Yes, it's one of the most secure prisons on the planet aside from our own Hero League prison. There are guards stationed at every corner and the corridors are heavily monitored. It won't be easy, but this mission is critical.
Sounds like a challenge. I'm in.
I'm sending a team of 10 on this mission. You 6, Colton, Zach, Chris, Mr. Rentz, Mr. Dugan and Mr. Calaway, along with Quantum Shift, the Amplifier, the Popsicle and the Immune Manipulator.
The Popsicle? I haven't worked with him before.
His ability to breathe ice will be invaluable in helping you disable certain systems inside the prison. As for the Immune Manipulator, she'll be able to incapacitate guards by temporarily weakening their immune systems without leaving any lasting damage. We'll need all the subtlety we can get on this one.
What's the plan? How do we break in?
We have the schematics of the prison layout. You'll be entering through an old maintenance tunnel that's rarely used. And from there, you'll make your way to the central prison wing. Your objective is to extract Plasma Boy and the opposite lord, and get out before they sound the alarm.
And if they do sound the alarm?
Then you'll have to fight your way out. But that's the last resort. We need to be as stealthy as possible. Plasma Man can't know we're involved. If he finds out we helped his son escape, it could escalate into something far worse.
Sounds like we've got our work cut out for us.
This is a critical mission. If we succeed, we could throw Plasma Man off balance and prevent future attacks. If we fail, well, we can't afford to fail.
We're ready. Just point us in the right direction.
Good. I want you all prepped and ready by tomorrow morning. This mission is dangerous, but I know you can handle it.
So, anyone else think Popsicle's going to fall for the greased toilet seat?
The Hero League kitchen was bustling with quiet activity as the team of heroes prepared for their mission to infiltrate the Villain League prison. The hum of the refrigerator and the sound of bread being sliced filled the room as Colton, Zach, Chris, Mr. Rents, Mr. Dugan, Mr. Calaway, Quantum Shift, the Amplifier, the Popsicle, and the Immune Manipulator worked together, making sandwiches to pack for the mission. They knew they needed to be prepared for anything, and food was a small but necessary part of that.
I swear this is the first time I've ever prepped for a mission by making sandwiches. Hey, if this turns into a long one, we'll be glad we brought these. I don't think Villain League serves gourmet meals to prisoners. This whole mission has me a bit on edge. I mean, last time we ran into Plasma Boy and the opposite Lord, we destroyed the cloning machine. How do you think they're going to react when they see us? Probably not too happy. But they'll have to deal with it. We're the only shot they got at getting out of there. Still, it's going to be weird. Plasma Boy might have a grudge, and I'm not sure how the opposite Lord feels about us after what happened. They might not even trust us. We'll have to play it smart. If they start thinking we're there for another reason, we'll lose them. This mission's risky enough without them turning against us. The big question is whether or not they even want to be rescued. Plasma Boy's got a lot of pride. He might not like the idea of being saved, especially by us. True, but Carl's right. This is our best shot at keeping Plasma Man off balance. If we can get his son out, help them get married, Plasma Man's going to have a whole new problem to deal with. If it means keeping the planet safe from whatever Plasma Man's planning, I'm all for it. I'll freeze the whole prison if I have to. Just remember that we're not just sneaking in, we're walking into a fortress. The guards aren't pushovers, and if we get caught, things will get ugly fast.
The room fell silent for a moment as everyone processed the weight of her words. They knew this wasn't going to be an easy mission, and the risks were high. But they also knew that if they could pull this off, it could change the dynamic between the Hero League and the Villain League in a way that might keep Plasma Man distracted for a long time.
It's going to be one hell of a wedding present if we can get them out. Yeah, nothing says congratulations like a prison break. We just need to stay focused. Get in, get them out, and make sure no one knows we were involved. If Plasma Man finds out we helped his son, this could turn into a war. We've been in tight spots before. We'll make it through this. Just stick to the plan.
The team nodded in agreement, their confidence bolstered by Mr. Rentz's steady leadership.
All right, sandwiches ready. Let's hope we don't have to eat them in the middle of a battle. I'll amplify your appetite if it comes to that.
The group shared a brief moment of lightheartedness, but the tension lingered beneath the surface. They knew what was at stake, and they knew that this mission would test their teamwork and trust in ways they hadn't yet experienced.
No matter what happens, we get them out, and we make sure Plasma Man has something else to worry about besides world domination.
With that, the team headed out, sandwiches and all, ready to face whatever awaited them in the heart of Villain League prison.
The rescue mission begins. Our heroes are gearing up for one of the most daring operations they've ever attempted. The goal? Break into Villain League prison and rescue Plasma Boy and the opposite Lord. The stakes are high, and the team knows failure is not an option. Colton, Zach, Chris, Mr. Rents, Mr. Dugan, Mr. Calaway, Quantum Shift, the Amplifier, the Popsicle, and the Immune Manipulator stood outside Mr. Rents's supersonic van, loading up supplies. They packed sandwiches, drinks, and extra weapons into the back, making sure they had everything they might need for the mission. There was a nervous energy in the air, each hero mentally preparing for the task ahead, breaking into Villain League prison and rescuing Plasma Boy and the opposite Lord.
So, we've got a bit of a problem. This van only seats 8, and we're going to be 12 people once we get Plasma Boy and the opposite Lord out.
Yeah, I've been thinking the same thing. We're going to need another vehicle. If we try to squeeze 12 people in here, even with supersonic speed, it's going to slow us down. And that's the last thing we need on an escape mission.
We should probably split into 2 teams. That way, if one group runs into trouble, the other can still get out with Plasma Boy and the opposite Lord.
Do we have another vehicle on standby? Something that can keep up with Mr. Rentz's van?
Well, nothing's quite as fast as this baby, but I know Carl's got a tactical SUV in the garage. It's fast enough, armored, and it can seat plenty of people. Should be perfect as a second vehicle.
Armored, huh? That might come in handy if we get caught.
Alright, so we'll take the SUV. Now the question is, who's going in which vehicle?
Obviously, Mr. Rentz should drive the van. He knows it best. Who else is going with him?
I'll go with Mr. Rentz too. My telekinesis will be useful in tight situations, and I've got Colton's back.
I'll go in the van too. I can control the environment, which might be useful if we need to make a quick escape. Plus, I can help keep the passengers safe.
Alright, that's 4 in the van plus Plasma Boy and the opposite Lord when we rescue them. That fills it up. Mr. Calaway crosses his arms and Quantum Shift smirks.
I'll go with you too. If we run into trouble, I can boost everyone's powers. That'll give us the edge if things go south.
I guess that leaves me in the SUV too. I'll be ready to freeze anyone who gets in our way.
The team members prepare for their roles, each ready to contribute their unique abilities. The team looked around, satisfied with the plan. Mr. Rentz's van would carry Colton, Zach, Chris, and Mr. Dugan, and would later transport Plasma Boy and the opposite Lord once they were rescued. Mr. Calaway, Quantum Shift, the Amplifier, the Popsicle, and the Immune Manipulator would take the tactical SUV, following closely behind as backup.
Alright, we've got our teams. Let's get this done.
The team members nodded in agreement, ready to move forward with their mission. The team looked around, satisfied with the plan. Mr. Rentz's van would carry Colton, Zach, Chris, and Mr. Dugan, and would later transport Plasma Boy and the opposite Lord once they were rescued. Mr. Calaway, Quantum Shift, the Amplifier, the Popsicle, and the Immune Manipulator would take the tactical SUV, following closely behind as backup.
Alright, we've got our teams. Let's get this done.
The team members nodded in agreement, ready to move forward with their mission. As the group finished packing the supplies and weapons into both vehicles, they knew the mission ahead of them was going to test their skills and teamwork. They were heading into one of the most dangerous prisons on the planet to rescue 2 powerful individuals, one of whom might not even want their help. But if they could pull this off, it would throw Plasma Man into chaos. And with any luck, they'd be back in time to enjoy the sandwiches.
The 2 vehicles zoomed down the highway, their engines roaring as they sped toward the Villain League headquarters in Kansas. Mr. Rentz's van led the charge, with the tactical SUV following close behind. The road ahead was clear, but everyone in both vehicles knew that things would get dangerous the moment they reached their destination. Inside Mr. Rentz's van, the group of Colton, Zach, Chris, Mr. Dugan, and Mr. Rentz were going over the plan through their communication devices, ensuring that both vehicles were synced up. The tension was high, but their focus was unwavering. Colton, all right, we're getting close to the Villain League prison. Let's make sure we're all on the same page.
We'll split into 2 teams, just like we discussed earlier. Since the prison's completely automated, the only way we're going to unlock the cells is by controlling the prison's central computer. That's going to be on your team, Calaway.
So you want us to head straight for the control room, take out the guards, and override the system to unlock the cells, right?
Exactly. While Team 1 focuses on the jailbreak, Team 2 needs to secure the control room and disable the prison's defenses.
We can handle the control room, no problem. My element manipulation can help us take down any guards, and the Popsicle can freeze the systems if we need to. We'll keep them off your backs. Mr. Dugan, VO. I'm itching for a fight. You get those cells unlocked, and we'll be in and out before they even know we're there. Mr. Calaway, VO. We're going to need precision. Once we're in the control room, it's a race against time. We disable the system, open the cells, and then you do your thing. Chris, VO. What about backup guards? They'll know something's up if the control room gets taken over. We'll need to be fast before the reinforcements show up.
Leave the backup to me. I can weaken any incoming guards by manipulating their immune systems. They won't even know what hit them.
And I'll freeze anyone who tries to stand in our way.
All right, it's settled. Colton, VO. Team 1, that's me, Zach, Chris, Mr. Dugan, and Mr. Rentz. We'll be responsible for getting Plasma Boy and the Opposite Lord out of their cells. Team 2, Mr. Calaway, Quantum Shift, the Amplifier, the Popsicle, and the Immune Manipulator. You take down the guards, secure the control room, and unlock the cells. Mr. Calaway, VO, understood. Once the cells are unlocked, we'll hold off any resistance until you complete the extraction.
It won't be easy, but if we move fast, we've got a shot at getting them out before the prison goes into lockdown. Chris, VO. And if the alarm goes off, Mr. Dugan, VO, then we fight our way out. Simple as that.
As they approached their destination, the Villain League headquarters loomed in the distance, its dark silhouette dominating the Kansas skyline. The prison complex was heavily fortified, with massive walls and automated defense systems designed to keep the most dangerous villains locked away. This would be no easy mission, but they were ready.
All right, everyone, get ready. We're almost there. Let's get this done and get out in one piece.
The comms went quiet as both vehicles closed in on the prison, their engines roaring as they prepared to launch into action. It was time to execute the plan and free Plasma Boy and the Opposite Lord. If they succeeded, they'd not only shake the Villain League, but throw Plasma Man into chaos. This was it, their most dangerous mission yet.
Mr. Rentz's van and the tactical SUV came to a quiet stop outside a hidden entrance to the Villain League's maintenance tunnels. The night air was thick with tension as the heroes piled out of the vehicles, their movements careful, precise. This was the beginning of their mission, and stealth was paramount, at least for now. Colton, Zach, Chris, Mr. Rentz, Mr. Dugan, Mr. Calaway, Quantum Shift, the Amplifier, the Popsicle, and the Immune Manipulator moved through the shadows, making their way to the tunnel entrance that would lead them into the Villain League prison. They huddled around a metal grate which had been rusted over and locked tight.
There has to be another way in.
I've got this.
Nice work. One by one, the group slipped into the opening, crawling through the tight space with only the sound of their breathing and the faint scrape of their movements. It was a slow, uncomfortable crawl through the cramped tunnel, and the tension only grew the closer they got to the prison. The weight of the mission hung over them. One wrong move, and the entire prison could go into lockdown. The team found themselves in a narrow corridor, the air thick with tension. They knew this was a fight they couldn't avoid. The walls echoed with the sounds of their struggle, each move calculated, each blow precise. It was a battle for survival, and they were determined to come out on top. After what felt like an eternity, the group reached the end of the tunnel where Mr. Calaway gave a grunt as he shoved a hatch open above them. They emerged into a dimly lit hallway deep within the Villain League prison.
Looks like stealth's out the window.
Without hesitation, the battle erupted. The guards charged forward, guns blazing. Mr. Calaway raised a fist, his godlike power crackling through his veins as he unleashed a wave of energy that sent several guards flying back, crashing into the walls. The corridor shook from the force of his attack, but the guards were relentless. Quantum Shift stepped forward, his hands glowing as he manipulated the elements around him. He summoned a gust of wind, whipping it through the corridor with enough force to knock the guards off balance. As the wind roared, he drew moisture from the air, forming icy spikes that shot through the ranks of guards, freezing some in place. Meanwhile, the Amplifier stood at the back, her eyes glowing as she focused on boosting the powers of her teammates. The Immune Manipulator grinned, feeling the surge of energy. With a wave of her hand, she sent a ripple of power through the guards, weakening their immune systems. The effect was immediate. Several guards stumbled, their faces turning pale as they fell to their knees, suddenly too weak to fight. But more guards poured in, pushing forward with batons, tasers, and energy rifles. The popsicle stepped up next, inhaling deeply before exhaling a blast of icy breath. A wave of frost spread across the floor, freezing the guards' feet in place, trapping them. He followed up with an ice blast, encasing several of them in solid blocks of ice. Still, more guards pressed in, overwhelming them with sheer numbers.
Keep pushing. We can't let them stop us now.
Mr. Calaway gritted his teeth as he summoned his power once more. With a surge of strength, he sent another shockwave of energy down the corridor, but the guards fought through it, closing in on him. Quantum Shift, noticing the pressure building on Calaway, manipulated the elements once again, this time focusing on the metal in the guards' weapons. With a twist of his fingers, the guns in their hands warped, bending out of shape, leaving several guards disarmed.
Nice trick.
The amplifier shouted as she unleashed another wave of power, boosting the popsicle's abilities.
With a grin, the popsicle took advantage of the boost, freezing the air itself around them, forming a massive barrier of ice that forced the guards back. He launched several icicles toward the remaining armed guards, disarming them with precision.
But it wasn't over yet. The guards, though weakened and outnumbered, kept coming. One of the larger guards, wielding an energy baton, lunged at the immune manipulator. She ducked just in time, but another guard was closing in on her from the side. Mr. Calaway spotted the danger and reacted, raising a hand and sending a powerful shockwave toward the attacking guards. The force of the blast knocked them back into the walls, crumpling them to the ground.
Keep going, we're almost through.
Quantum Shift shouted, directing a stream of molten metal at the remaining guards, melting their weapons and forcing them to retreat. Finally, after what felt like hours but had only been minutes, the last of the guards fell. The corridor was littered with unconscious, frozen, or incapacitated guards, their numbers decimated by the hero's coordinated attack.
That should buy us some time. Let's move.
We've still got to get to the control room.
Let's go before more of them show up.
The group pushed forward, stepping over the fallen guards as they hurried down the corridor toward the control room. With the guards dealt with, they had a clear shot at their objective, unlocking the prison cells and setting the jailbreak into motion. Their battle had been long and intense, but they had come out on top. Now it was time to finish the mission. The plan for the prison break was intricate, yet every detail had been meticulously thought out. They knew the risks, but they were ready to face them head